In this presentation, we'll address some of the concepts around internationalization and localization of HRMS solutions, and we'll also address how Interact HRMS handles that. So first of all, to make sure we're talking the same language, internationalization is the design and development of a product that enables easy localization for target audiences that vary in culture, region, or language. Okay, so internationalization is about making it easy to adapt the product to local needs. And the next step in that process is localization, or L10N, which is the adaptation of a product or application to meet the language, cultural, or other requirements of a specific target market. Okay, so first you need to have internationalization in order to have easy and affordable localization. So what does that mean for an HRMS like Interact HRMS? It means that we have separate language resource files and we have multi-currency support. Internationalization also means that we have flexible date formats, phone number formats, zip codes, and postal codes, and so on. All these things differ in different countries, obviously. And if you think about it, out of all the business applications that exist in the software industry, there is no other business application that requires as much localization and internationalization than an HR software. Because HR and payroll rules literally differ in every country. So you must have internationalization, and that means you must have an easy way of handling the local needs in every country. So in Interact HRMS, everything is configurable. That means our leave and time policies, our holiday calendar, our compensation and deduction policies, our benefits policies and tax policies, and the format itself of the employee electronic record. All of that is 100% configurable. So the product is really policy driven because everything depends on the policies that you have in your country. And so the localization means that we will have a country-specific set of statutory reports and forms. It means that there will be country-specific functionality in some cases, that we of course support multiple languages, and that the configuration of local policies for taxes, leave, time and holiday, compensation, deductions, benefit policies, and the employee record format is completely flexible. All right, that's critical in order to be able to support the use of HRMS of the same single product across different countries. While we're on the subject, I just want to point out the difference between a true global payroll and HR solution versus many of the payroll aggregators out there. When you look up the term global payroll, you find a lot of companies who are in the business of providing you with a single platform that will store and exchange data for common reporting. So you will have at first sight a single system. However, it is not really a single system because it relies on in-country providers or ICPs who will process the payroll in an external and a local payroll product and then upload the results to your common platform. All right, so if you wanted to do this yourself as a global multinational firm, that's not going to work because you have to go back and ask the ICPs to do it for you. There is no payroll available that will work for you in those different countries that is designed to be part of a global HRMS. There is only a system that is designed to integrate and connect with all these different ICPs. A true global payroll platform, the way Interact HRMS is designed, means you get a single platform which enables clients or ICPs to process payroll, which means calculating gross to net in a single solution without any need for interfacing. Okay, there's only one product. If you want to do it all in-house, you can have all your remote offices anywhere in the world process the payroll in our system based on the local country rules. On the other hand, if you want to outsource it, you can work with local payroll providers and we can connect with them as required. So there's a big difference between a typical payroll aggregator, which basically aggregates the data and presents it to you as if it's a single system, but it really has a lot of other products in the back talking to it, versus a true integrated global payroll HRMS that has the ability to actually comply with the different payroll rules and HR rules in different countries and give you a single platform so you can handle the whole thing either in-house or determine where you want to outsource. Let's take a quick look at how that looks in Interact also. So let's take a look at how this internationalization and localization is addressed in Interact HRMS. First, you can see in our general settings that you can choose some basic settings like the date format. All it takes is to modify your selection right here. You can set your standard weekend and your employment country, because this will determine some of the fields that will appear on your employee electronic record. For example, if I choose the UAE, I have a number of items that I need to track for an employee that are different than what we track in the US. And the system is designed to already know some of the differences between different countries. For example, if an employee is hired in the US, we will look for the social security number, which has a specific format, of course, the zip code, and the state in which that employee is based. Whereas if I'm going to hire that same employee in Canada, suddenly we're looking for a social insurance number which has 3 times 3 digits. We have a postal code instead of a zip code, and we have a province instead of a state. Okay? So all these things are unique to the country, and the system is designed to be able to handle the various rules out of the box. So internationalization means that you can set these parameters easily. Even in our system, you can choose and create different pay groups or employee groups and create specific rules for these particular pay groups. So one pay group, for example, could be paid based on the rules of Australia or Canada or US or any other country in which you're operating. And another country, if we're choosing US, for example, we could even, of course, not only localize for the particular country, but also for the state, and down to a lower level if we need to. And of course, we can choose our currency in which we're going to be paying, and many more things. All of this is in the configuration of the system. So if we now go and look at how do we handle unique calculation methods, gross to net, and so on, well, that's very simple. That means that we're going to define the tax authority, we're going to define our taxes, and we're going to define all the rules. Just like we have unique country-based forms. For example, here in the US we have W4 forms, whereas in Canada the equivalent form would be the TD1, which looks very different. And in the Philippines, for example, you'll have a completely different form again. So here you can see that Interact is not only internationalized, but it can also be localized for the different countries in which you operate. And we can support you in any country. Obviously, it requires us to build the unique reports if you're going to be operating in a country for which we do not yet have the reports. But in most cases, the majority of what is required is going to be available out of the box. In the end, everything is policy driven, and you will have earnings policies, you will have allowances defined, and you'll have deductions defined, and basically all your compensation and deduction policies are policy driven, just like your leave policies, etc. Everything will be defined as required, and it will behave as per the local country and in some cases company unique rules that you have. So not only is the product internationalized, it is localized, and it is flexible enough to adjust to the local policies of each individual company based on the configuration tools that we have out of the box in the system. Here's an example of an annual leave policy and the rules that we can define regarding accrual methods, accrual rates, approval workflow, other conditions that are tied to it, carryover rules, and so on. Everything is highly configurable and is designed to be implemented as per the client's needs in any country in which you want to operate. And that's the beauty of Interact. So you can truly do global payroll and process payroll in multiple countries using one single system, by defining your own pay groups with their own leave and time policies and their own compensation and deduction and tax policies as required. No need for connecting to other systems, no need for relying on other ICPs if you don't want to, and if you do want to, you can have a very simple way of getting them involved in processing payroll using the core system that's already there. That's the beauty of Interact HRMS.